Hello and welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I'm Eva Maria, your Monday hostess. Sorry for the late upload, I've had a lot going on, but this week's topic is going to be daily spellcraft. And for this video, I didn't even bother to make notes because I think I kind of know what I want to say about this. I think I kind of know my mind on this subject. Let's see, how can I begin? Daily spellcraft? When I heard that title, that topic title, the first thought I had immediately, right off the bat, was, is daily spellcraft truly necessary? That title sort of implies that one is actually doing spells every single day. While this is possible, there's nothing wrong if you feel that you need to do spellcraft daily. That's fine, but I guess I'm sort of the school of thought that not every situation necessarily calls for spellcraft, in my opinion. I personally have always felt that spellcraft, while it can be a means of having control over your life, and while it can be a way to manage situations and enhance your life, I don't think it should become a crutch. I feel that, at least in my opinion, spellcraft should be the last avenue you turn to, or it should be something that you're doing in conjunction with other things you're doing for specific goals that you have. The reason I believe this, some of you may be like, oh, pshaw, what do you know? But let me just explain my angle here, and then you can decide if you agree or disagree. What I mean by it should be a last resort, at least in that part of what I said, what I meant by that is that a lot of times things happen in people's lives, and immediately they go, I'm going to cast a spell to fix this. But they don't stop to ask themselves, have they exhausted other avenues first? Have they tried being proactive? Have they approached the situation via some mundane angles first? If they haven't, and they're jumping to spellcraft all the time, right off the bat, just like that, you might want to ask yourself, and I'm not trying to insult anybody, but people that do that, are they good in terms of their problem-solving skills? Are they good at, excuse me, taking personal responsibility to the extent that they can in action in mundane life to try and solve problems, to try and create the kind of life that they want? Or are they just using spellcraft as a crutch? Now, the other part of what I said, that spellcraft, in my opinion, should be something that can enhance your life, or that can work in conjunction with the things that you do, that I would assume most people would probably agree with. In my view, if you're seeking something and you've set a goal in mind, I feel that you should take mundane steps first, and then while you're taking mundane steps, there's nothing wrong with doing supportive magic to help you toward your goal. There's nothing wrong with even just regular maintenance kind of spellcraft, the kind, let's say, for prosperity, for example, that's something pretty common that people often do. Obviously, you're not going to sit on the couch eating popcorn, doing nothing, unemployed, and think that your prosperity spells are going to be your only means to getting by. If you are perfectly able-bodied and there is nothing wrong with you, you really should probably get a job, as well as working your prosperity work. Sorry, folks, I forgot to plug in my computer and it crapped out on me mid-sentence. What I was saying, um, acting in accord is important, but obviously I understand there are certain exceptions to this rule. Sometimes people are limited by certain circumstances in what they can do on a mundane level to work toward their goals. If someone is, let's say, physically disabled, they can't go out and work, but there are only certain things they can do from home, maybe online or whatever. Or let's say they don't even have that option, whatever. Working a prosperity spell so that your benefits will be solidly coming to you and that they will be enough and that you will be able to get by and that you will maybe come by some windfall. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't view that as a crutch. I view that as a necessity. It's something necessary. I believe that the divine doesn't, in my opinion, smile upon people who expect something for nothing. And I could be wrong. You know what? I could be wrong. Because, hey, I don't have a red telephone to God. But in my personal opinion, if you're acting in accord, if you're using magic as an enhancement, if you're using it as something to help you in your life, there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. But again, I'm trying to say in this rambly way that I don't feel that magic should be a crutch. It shouldn't be the first thing you turn to. It shouldn't be something that you feel like if you're not casting magic every single day, that somehow you're doing something wrong. I think if you don't cast magic every day, if anything, I would think that's a sign that you're doing something right, because quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. What I mean by that is, don't cast spells just to cast them because you feel like if you're not casting them, you're not a witch. Your spells should be things that you utilize, construct, and carry out mindfully with deep, intention, focus, care. They should mean something to you, I think. Therefore, rather than just doing them every day just to do them, I think spells that you do when you feel that the time is right, as much as you feel you need them, I think they will be a lot more effective. Now, I don't know if whoever suggested daily spellcraft as a topic, if they really meant, setting aside time for daily spiritual practice. That is quite different from daily spellcraft. While for many, magic or spellcraft can be very closely intertwined with one's faith. You can absolutely be faithful and not necessarily cast a spell. So I do believe in the positive influence, the benefit that can come out of daily reverence, setting aside some time to somehow connect with or acknowledge your beliefs if you are a person who is spiritual or religious, but I don't feel that um, spellcraft is as necessary to be done every single day, because maybe some people might think that if you're not doing it every day, somehow you're not a witch. Because to me, that's like, what? You know, while some people might think this is funny, I kind of look at spell work can kind of be likened to the concept of sex. Okay, if you're with a partner in a relationship, some people think, you know, oh, you need to be having sex constantly, or it's just not, you know, your relationship's not healthy or something. Guess again, quality over quantity, my friends. I would take good sex over lots of sex any day, as I'm sure many of you would appreciate a good spell over lots of spell work. And that brings me to another thing I wanted to touch upon. Sometimes when you're working towards something, I have found in my own experience that if you start casting like spell after spell after spell after, and you're not even just letting one spell just do its thing, I have personally found that sometimes that's like if you had a pot of soup and you just kept throwing spice after spice after spice in, but you never stopped to taste it to see if that even tastes good. You know, you're not letting the spices that you initially put in like do what they're supposed to do and then gauge where you're at. You're just throwing everything you possibly have into the pot, and then you end up making a horrible, disgusting, like whatever. You're not following the recipe and letting it come out and then assessing it. You just like, let me throw every single thing I have into the pot. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You know, like, why would you wouldn't do that in the kitchen? Why would you do that in your spell work? Sorry for all these like these comparisons, you know, sorry for so many comparisons, but I often tend to compare things, you know, when I'm trying to make a point. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this video up here, but I'm going to sum up my points. What I'm basically saying is take spell work as the tool that it is. It can enhance your life. It can help your life. I don't feel it should be a crutch. I feel that when it becomes a crutch, you're leaving parts of yourself, mundane parts of yourself that are crucial parts of yourself here in the physical world, undeveloped, because you're relying so much on the magic. And I do feel that the divine wants what's best for all of us. You know, the divine wants us to be well-rounded individuals. So if we are leaning so heavily on the divine and not growing as people that can solve our own problems, eventually the divine's going to be like, no. Like maybe your spells won't come to pass just for a little bit, just so that you can learn to solve your problems on your own. I mean, I'm not saying that will definitely happen, but there's a chance that it may, you know? Because, hey, again, I don't know everything, but I would think the divine would react like that, because from my own experience, I've come to the understanding that the divine wants us, as far as I can gauge from my experiences, the divine wants us to be whole, healthy individuals. A lot of times lessons are thrown at us that sometimes are really shitty, like things to go through, but there are lessons in those shitty experiences nonetheless. And I feel that, let me try to get back to my point because I'm starting to ramble again. I feel that if we rely so heavily on the power, on magic, on universal energy, it's not healthy, it's not good. Eventually we're going to run into problems. And I feel that daily spellcraft is not necessary. Daily devotion or reverence can be very good for us, though. So I guess my main focus here that I'm hoping all of you will keep in mind, think quality over quantity, okay? And again, as I've said before, you know, spells are a lot like sex. You don't want to have a lot of shitty sex. You want to have some good sex. You know what I'm saying? So when you're casting, don't cast a lot of shitty spells. Put your energy and focus when you feel that you need to cast spells maybe into really good spells. And you know that you have the ability, everybody has the ability to cast a really good spell, okay? Don't rush, don't half-ass it. If you're not feeling it, maybe it's just not the time, but quality over quantity. That's what I would suggest. I hope, if nothing else, this video was interesting, fun to watch. Maybe I made you chuckle a little bit. And I look forward to what everyone else will share on this topic. And with that said, I'm going to wish you blessed be and ashe. And until next week, until our next exchange, you stay tuned, watch everyone else's videos. Please do be involved. This community needs your involvement. We do so much better when you're involved. And bye-bye for now.